This is Washington, D.C., August 1814. The president's own house is on fire, and nobody is coming to stop it. Hours earlier, this table was set for a celebration dinner. The people who set it are already gone. They ran. British troops are marching through the capital of the United States, completely unopposed. No army stands in their way. By morning, the White House, the Capitol, and half of official Washington will be reduced to smoking ruins. This is the night the British burned down America's capital, and almost nobody remembers exactly how it happened. By 1812, tensions between America and Britain had been building for years. British warships kept stopping American ships at sea. British captains were seizing American sailors and forcing them into the Royal Navy. Thousands of men vanished this way. Congress had had enough. In June 1812, the United States formally declared war on Britain. Many Americans believed it would be a quick, easy fight. It was not quick. Early American invasions of Canada collapsed almost immediately. The war dragged on for 2 exhausting years. By 1814, something changed everything. Britain had just defeated Napoleon in Europe. Thousands of veteran soldiers were suddenly free to fight elsewhere. Britain redirected battle-hardened troops straight toward America. Their target wasn't just military, it was symbolic. They wanted to humiliate the young nation. In August 1814, a British fleet appeared in Chesapeake Bay, carrying nearly 5,000 experienced soldiers. Washington, D.C. sat directly inland from them. America's response was almost entirely untrained militia. Most had never fired a shot in real combat. Washington itself had almost no fortified defenses. President James Madison and his cabinet knew the danger was real. Yet many officials still believed the British would target Baltimore instead. British troops landed at Benedict, Maryland, and began marching inland. Their commander, Major General Robert Ross, moved with calm, deliberate confidence. American forces gathered near the town of Bladensburg to make a stand. It was the last real barrier standing between Britain and the capital. Remarkably, President Madison rode out to observe the battle himself. He was the first sitting American president to witness combat in person. On August 24th, British troops advanced on the American line at Bladensburg. The fighting began almost immediately, and it did not go well. American militia broke and scattered within a short time. Panic spread through the ranks faster than any British advance ever could. The retreat was so fast and chaotic that people later mockingly called it the Bladensburg Races. The road to Washington was now completely open. Word reached Washington that the defense had collapsed. Government officials began evacuating immediately, grabbing what documents and valuables they could carry. Inside the president's house, First Lady Dolly Madison refused to leave without one specific item: a full-length portrait of George Washington. With British troops closing in, she ordered the frame broken and the canvas carried to safety. It was one of the only things saved. With British troops closing in, she ordered the frame broken and the canvas carried to safety. It was one of the only things saved. British troops entered Washington that evening. The streets were nearly empty. Almost the entire city had already fled. General Ross and Admiral George Cockburn led the occupying force personally. Their orders were specific. Burn only public buildings, not private homes. Soldiers reportedly walked into the president's house and found that untouched dinner still waiting. Some officers reportedly sat and ate it before setting the building ablaze. Soldiers piled furniture together and set it alight room by room. Within an hour, fire had spread through the entire structure. Flames poured from every window of the president's house. The glow could reportedly be seen for miles across the surrounding countryside. The troops moved next toward the Capitol building, home to Congress and the nation's growing library. It too was targeted for destruction. Inside, soldiers piled together books, furniture, and documents. The Library of Congress, still young and small, was burned along with everything else. The Capitol's interior burned fiercely through the night. Its stone walls survived, but almost everything inside them did not. That same night, a sudden violent storm rolled through Washington. Some accounts describe it as nearly a tornado, tearing through the smoke and flames. The storm actually helped extinguish parts of the fires and disrupted the British occupation. Some soldiers were reportedly injured by collapsing structures in the wind. General Ross grew concerned that American forces might regroup and counterattack. He decided not to hold the city any longer than necessary. Other government buildings were burned as well, including the Treasury and the War Department. The occupation was brief, but devastatingly thorough. American forces themselves destroyed the Washington Navy Yard before the British could capture it, denying them valuable ships and supplies. By the next evening, British troops had already begun withdrawing from Washington. They had made their point. There was no need to stay. Residents began cautiously returning to the city over the following days. What they found was devastating. Smoke still hung over entire neighborhoods. The president's house stood as a blackened, roofless shell. Only the exterior stone walls had survived the intense heat of the fire. President Madison returned to a Capitol in ruins. The symbolic heart of the young nation had been reduced to ash in a single night. News of the burning spread across the country and overseas. For many Americans, the humiliation felt almost impossible to comprehend. In Britain, the raid was celebrated as a triumphant strike against a rebellious former colony. It seemed for a moment like total humiliation, but the destruction sparked something unexpected. Rather than breaking American resolve, the burning of Washington seemed to strengthen it. Weeks later, British forces turned their attention to Baltimore, targeting Fort McHenry in a massive overnight naval bombardment. The fort held through the night. At dawn, its flag was still flying, defiant against the smoke of the retreating fleet. A lawyer named Francis Scott Key watched that flag from a ship in the harbor. What he saw inspired words that would outlast the war itself. Key wrote a poem describing that dawn. Set to music, it would eventually become the national anthem of the United States. By December 1814, exhausted diplomats on both sides signed a peace treaty in Europe. The war that had cost so much technically ended in a stalemate. Before news of peace even crossed the Atlantic, American forces won a stunning victory at New Orleans. The timing made it feel like triumph, not stalemate. Back in Washington, reconstruction began almost immediately. Architects worked to restore the president's house using much of its original surviving stone. To cover the scorch marks left by the fire, the exterior stone was painted a fresh white. Some historians believe this is where its famous nickname truly took hold. The Capitol, too, was rebuilt, eventually growing larger and more grand than the structure that had burned in 1814. The Library of Congress needed rebuilding almost entirely from scratch. Former President Thomas Jefferson sold his own personal library to help restart the collection. Jefferson's nearly 7,000 books formed the foundation of what became one of the largest libraries in the world. Destruction had accidentally sparked something greater. By 1817, the rebuilt President's House was ready for occupancy again. It had risen from ash in less than 3 years. Today, the building that once burned to its foundations stands as one of the most recognized symbols of American government anywhere in the world. The portrait Dolly Madison saved that day still survives. It remains on display, one of the only original items to escape the flames. Few visitors walking past these buildings today know they were ever anything but permanent. The burning is a footnote most Americans never learn. For one single night in 1814, the capital of the United States was reduced to smoke and ash. It rebuilt anyway. It always does. For one night in August 1814, foreign troops walked unopposed into the capital of the United States and set fire to nearly every symbol of its government, and the country rebuilt from the ashes anyway. If this story surprised you as much as it surprised us, take a second to hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments which forgotten chapter of American history you want us to uncover next.